How's it going, college football fans? This is Cal Bearzone with a preview on Cal's 2010 linebacking core. Now, coming into the season, it's pretty evident that Cal's biggest issues are going to be on the defensive side of the ball. They shouldn't have too many problems scoring points this year, but they're going to have to stop other teams from scoring if they want to have a successful season. The secondary doesn't look to be all that strong. It was 111th in pass defense last season, and we lose 3 starters from that mediocre secondary. So what does that mean? It means the linebackers are going to have to pick up the slack as well as the defensive line, but mainly the linebackers because they're in the best position to defend the pass and put pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. They have a fairly talented linebacking crew this year, Cal does, but they're really going to need some young players that haven't gotten a whole lot of starting time to step up and sort of mature quickly, and that's going to be big for their success this year. In the past few seasons, Cal's adopted a 3-4 defense. Now what that means is it includes in their base set 3 down defensive linemen and 4 linebackers, 2 on the inside and 2 on the outside. Coming into the season, they have a new defensive coordinator. The old one, Bob Gregory, was fired back in the wintertime, and now we're looking at Clancy Pendergast, who's coming from the Arizona Cardinals. So he has some decent NFL experience on the 3-4, the spread, and should be a good change of pace for Cal because the defense has been a little bit lacking, especially last season. So he's stated already that his plan for the season is to bring extra pressure with the linebackers, disrupt opposing quarterbacks, and hopefully in doing so he can help, or the linebackers can help pick up with the secondary loss last year, and we can have a little more defensive success. What's this going to do? It's going to force the linebackers for our team to play smart, to play within themselves, and to play as a unit in order to successfully pull off the 3-4. Now, as far as returning talent goes, the inside of the 3-4, as in the 2 inside linebackers, looks very strong. They return senior leader Mike Muhammad, who's going to be the, quote, the defensive captain this year. He's played in all 39 games possible to this point in his career, started all of last year, and is going to definitely lead the team both vocally and by example. They also return the starter DJ Holt, who's going to shore up that inside linebacker spot. He's really coming into his own as a junior this year. I think he's going to definitely progress a lot this year. He's going to move more onto the national scale as well as into the forefront of most of us Cal fans' focus when we look at the defense. And hopefully, play well enough to get an all Pac-10 selection this year. He should be very strong at the position. A big blow for the linebacking core this year is going to be losing outside linebacker Eddie Young. Eddie Young was the older brother of Sean Young, a wide receiver, younger brother of Sean Young, a wide receiver who played like 6 years at Cal due to red shirts and stuff like that. But basically, Eddie was a strong, disruptive force at outside linebacker this year, who recorded a bunch of tackles and was good at bringing pressure from the outside. And it won't be easy replacing him on the outside linebacker spot. So the young guys are going to have to do their best to sort of recreate that that effect, whether it's one player or by committee. So breaking into the starting lineup this year as a linebacker, as an outside linebacker, look for Michael Kendricks, the junior, to step in as a starter. He's always had the raw talent, but he lacked, for the first couple of years, the experience and the generally just the knowledge of game situations to warrant a starting job. I expect him to be different this year. I expect him to be able to step right into a starting role, help the team a lot, because he's always had the raw talent, which is what I remember hearing Zach Follett say when he was a freshman. He said the guy's got, tremendous game feel. He's got, a nose for football, and he just needs some training. I think he's got that training now. I look for him to start and to be a good help to the defense all year. Two more names you'll probably get familiar with by the end of the season are Keith Browner and Jared Price. Those are two guys that they're recruited as linebackers but have played mostly on special teams for the first couple years of their career. They're juniors also. Both of them should be expected to compete for outside linebacker time as starters and coming in as reserves. They're both athletic, they both move well, and we have our fingers crossed that they're going to, develop into strong linebackers, because we're really going to need to shore up the other side of this outside linebacking core, because it's going to be very important for Cal, as it always is with anybody that runs the 3-4. Unfortunately, some bad news for the linebacking core coming into the season. Highly touted recruit Chris Martin recently transferred from Cal to Florida, which leaves a sour taste, because he was pretty much the crown jewel of this very highly rated recruiting class that Cal brought in this past summer, and it's tough to lose him. He cited reasons such as distractions in the Bay Area that he ended up leaving. He left earlier in his life. He left high school in the Bay Area from Bishop O'Dowd to go play elsewhere because he couldn't deal with whatever distractions were here for him in the Bay Area, and apparently he still can't deal with them. So he's off to Florida. But, putting it in perspective, this year it shouldn't hurt us much. He probably wasn't going to get much playing time as a freshman. So it shouldn't hurt too bad this coming season. And we still also have very strong prospects in the recruiting class. So while it does hurt to lose him, it's not as bad as it may look from the outside. Bottom line for the linebacking core, don't sleep on this group of guys. It's a talented group, it's a solid group, and it's well coached. And it's led by Muhammad, who's a vocal leader. He'll be able to lead by example for not only the linebackers, but the entire defense. I think on-field leadership is something that Cal's lacked in the past couple of seasons. You saw them collapse in 2007 after starting 5-0. There was definitely a clear lack of leadership on that team. In 2008, a revolving door at quarterback is never good for leadership. And last year, you really can't name a guy that could stand at the center of the team huddle and really motivate the group of guys to go out and do what they knew they could do. I look for Mike Muhammad to be that guy this year. I think he's got talented linebackers around him. I think he's going to have an All-American season as well as most people. He's on a lot of preseason All-America teams. And I think the linebacking core is going to need to have a strong year if we want to hopefully minimize the defensive woes, and I think they will have a strong year. So that's all for Cal Bears Own. As always, go Bears. Make sure you tune in. I think I said that last time too. Make sure you tune in Monday for a preview on the backfield. I'm going to do the running backs on Monday, so make sure you tune in for that. That should be an exciting one. So, yep, go Bears, and